Welcome to the natural selection story. The objective of this assignment is for you to create a model of natural selection by telling a story that shows how the environment selects organisms to survive and reproduce and changes a population over time. Changing a population over time can result in a process called evolution. You're familiar with artificial selection, where humans pick a trait and change a population over time, as Miss Ripley did in her example. This week's goal is to use Tuesday and Friday's science lessons to create a natural selection slideshow and record a narration if possible. Here's an example of what one looks like in a very bare bones version of it. Once all rabbits had short ears, but variation exists, so some rabbits had longer ears than others because of mutations and sexual reproduction. The rabbits produce more offspring than can survive, so there is competition for food, water, habitat, and avoiding predators. The environment changed for these rabbits due to wolves moving into the ecosystems they migrated in. This new environment selects against the short-eared rabbits because the wolves can sneak up on them and eat them up. The new environment selected for long-eared rabbits because the long-eared rabbits hear the wolves and run away sooner. In the next generation, the rabbit population will have fewer rabbits. There will be fewer rabbits with shorter ears and more rabbits with longer ears because long-eared rabbits reproduce more often because they're avoiding being eaten. Over many generations, this selective pressure of the wolves will cause the population of rabbits to evolve longer ears. And that's how rabbits came to have long ears. So you'll recall that artificial selection is how humans select for traits, and natural selection is how nature selects for traits. So the assignment between is very similar. In the natural selection story, you have to come up with a third character. In my case, I had a wolf, who acts as the selective pressure that selects for the trait you're looking to make. So your assignment for Tuesday is to write the script of your natural selection story on a slide, draw a picture of 3 characters in your story, and then add the drawing to your slides and turn them in. When I say add your 3 characters, I mean something like this. In my case, there was the target organism, which was the long-eared rabbit. There was the original population of rabbits, which is the ones with short ears. And then there was the selective pressure. If you take your time making these drawings, you can use them for your final slideshow by cropping them and copying them. So it's worth spending a little time on these. Once you've taken or made the drawing, you will insert them in your slide the way you normally do. I wanted to mention that you have options for making the drawing. You can use computer images. I'll show you an example of a student who did that at the end of this. Or you can do the simplified drawing like I did. There's some hints in this little video here if you're curious about that. The script is highly templated and scaffolded, so you should find it fairly simple to do. Once you've picked your original organism, the name of that will appear multiple times. I've color-coded that in blue. The trait that it originally had is here in red. The trait that's selected for is in green. And the selective pressures in purple. And you'll see how they repeat multiple times. In the slides you need to complete for this assignment, you'll find that I've color-coded the blanks so they correspond with these 4 elements of the story. Feel free to revise the text as you see fit. You don't have to do them in this perfect order. Or this particular order. You can change it so it makes sense to you, or change the wording and so forth. The thing that you need to keep consistent, however, is the first 3 steps. Because in those 3 steps, you are focusing on one of the principles of artificial selection, or rather natural selection, which is that mutations exist prior to the need. Mutations are random. They don't occur because the animal needs them to happen. So, for example, in my story, the rabbit doesn't grow long ears or stretch its ears so it can hear the rabbits better. The rabbit just happens to have ears of different lengths, and because of the presence of the wolf, the ones with longer ears survive a little bit better and reproduce more. So, you have to have these three steps occurring first in your story so that you are true to the principle of natural selection. The assignment and review then for Tuesday is to write a script of your natural selection story along with your three drawings and turn them in on slides. I previewed Friday's assignment, but I'm not expecting you to get started on it because you're going to receive templates later in the week and hints about how to do that. I have included at the end of this slideshow of instructions 3 examples from student work, 2 that use drawings and 1 that use computer drawings. I think you'll find them interesting. Good luck and have fun with the assignment. Be creative and try to show us what you know about natural selection.